Friends and family, wherever you are, make so much noise that we can feel you all the way over here. Get on your feet and please welcome to the stage, Mr. Russell Brunson!
Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to day number 2 of the 5-day lead challenge. Are you guys half as excited as I am? I'm not gonna lie, of all the 5 days, this is the one that I've been looking forward to the most, to teaching, to coaching, and walking you guys through. This is the one that's gonna be so much fun. And so I'm pumped to see all you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you all had a chance yesterday to watch day number 1. Day number 1, the goal of that was to kind of give you guys a broad overview of this is what the process, this is what the system, this is what the frameworks look like. And today we actually get to get our hands dirty and start building something, which is exciting. And so I'm pumped to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for everyone who's been sharing these videos. I think before we pulled up, there's like almost 300 people that shared the videos already on social, this live. So thank you for sharing it. If you know anybody else who should be here, please tag them in the comments down below. And that way we can get more people coming and hanging out for this. Like I told you guys yesterday, over 35,000 of you guys registered to be part of this. We had over 11,000 people on live yesterday between Zoom and Facebook and YouTube. And then over 9,000 of you guys watched the replays. So this is amazing. This is like such a huge honor for me. So today is the day, like I said, though, I'm most excited for. Today we're gonna be going into actually creating your lead magnet, your one pager, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But before I get too deep into that, I spent time yesterday looking through all of the tens of thousands of comments and questions. I also talked to a lot of you guys who were on, who had questions and stuff like that. So I want to do a couple things just to kind of help make sure that we're bridging this gap before I dive deep into the fun stuff I've got prepared for you guys today. Does that sound good? Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do, a lot of people, especially people who are kind of different types of businesses, were asking me about, like, how does this work, Russ? Like I understand I need leads for my business. You talked about an email list. You build a big list. You can send emails to them, but like, how does this work for my specific business? And so I wrote down a couple of different ones I wanted to kind of give some case studies and examples for, okay? So the first one I'm going to talk about, this is for like a traditional business, right? It's like a brick and mortar company. So I got a couple good examples of this. One of them, one of my friends actually told me this story. He lives down in Florida, and he is a guy who is like me, builds big email lists and stuff. And one night he went to order pizza. This is pre-COVID stuff, so you can still go and hang out and eat with people. And he goes to the pizza place and he sits down. He's waiting for the pizza guy to bring him to finish cooking his pizza and give it to him. And it's a local shop, so it's not like a big chain. It's just like a local dude who's got a pizza shop and having a lot of fun. And he starts asking my buddy, like, so what do you do for a living? And he's like, oh, I'm an internet nerd and this is what I do. And the guy's like, well, how would what you do work for me? Like, I don't understand. I'm a pizza place. How would I use the internet? Like, how does this actually work for me? And so my friend came back to him and said, okay, well, let's do an experiment. He said, right now, how are you getting leads? How are you getting people coming into the store? And he said, word of mouth. We've got a Yellow Page ad. We run some newspaper ads. They had some things they were using to drive leads in. And he said, okay, what I want you to do for the next 30 days is I want to do an experiment, okay? So for the next 30 days, when people come into your store, he's like, I want you to give them a lead magnet. He's like, what's a lead magnet? He said, well, in your case, okay, a lead magnet for your pizza place is give people, say, if you give me your email address, I'm going to give you a free topping, I'm going to give you a free drink or something. He's like, find something you can give them in exchange for their contact information. And the guy's like, okay, what am I going to do with it? He's like, just for right now, for 30 days, just get their contact information. I'll come back in 30 days and I'll show you step 2 in the plan. So the guy's like, all right. So he put up a little sign that said, give me your email address, put your business card in here, and I'm going to give you a free, free topping or something. And so the guy did that for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, my friend came back to his place, and at the time he had 600 email addresses this guy had collected in the last 30 days. And my friend said, okay, now I'm going to show you the next step in this process. These people that came in, these are all leads, right? But these leads, we're going to put them into an email list, okay? We got 600 leads. So he took them, he went and he set them into an email list, and we'll talk about how to do this actually on day number 4. But he uploaded all these leads to an email list, and he said, what I want you to do is every single day at 4 o'clock, right, when people are still at work, they're getting ready to think like, what's my dinner plans? He's like, I want you to send them an email. And all the email is going to say is, hey, it's 4 o'clock, and a lot of you guys are thinking about you're going to have for dinner. If you want, I can have a pizza ready for you in the next hour. Just call this number right here, and I will have your pizza ready. You can come drive by and pick it up on your way home. Okay, and so that's what he told me. He said, every single day at 4 o'clock, send out the same email. You can tweak it if you want, but just regardless, send out the same email every single day. Okay, and so the guy's like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then my friend said, I want to test something though. He's like, I need you to set 2 phone numbers. I want to show you like how much more valuable this is than all the other advertising you're doing. The guy said, okay. So he had all the other advertising would go to 1 phone number, right? So the yellow pages, the radio ads, the newspaper, everything would go to 1 phone number. Okay, and then the email list went to a separate phone number. Okay, he said, I want you to track over the next 30 days, every day send out this email, and then I want you to see how many customers came in from your email list versus all the other types of advertising you're doing. Okay, so he said, okay, so we did that, and he started sending email once every single day. Every single day, 4 o'clock, send the same email. The guy didn't even edit the email. He just like copy and pasted it every single day. And after 30 days, my friend came back and said, okay, what are the stats? And the guy said, it's crazy. He said, my company has been so busy. He's like, my best customers keep coming back. You know, a lot before they'd come once or twice a quarter. Now they're coming back once or twice a week to buy from me because I'm putting these messages out in front of them. He said, I did the math. He said, right now for every 1 phone call I'm getting from all my other advertising efforts, I'm getting 4 phone calls from my email list. And that's the power of it. Okay? So that's how it works for traditional local business. I had another friend who runs a gym, right? And he was actually my trainer for a couple of years. And we were hanging out, and we were lifting weights, and he was telling me how to do stuff. And he's like, so how would your internet stuff work for someone like me? I've got a gym. I was like, and he was like, am I going to buy Facebook ads? How is it going to work? I'm like, well, you can do that, but let's go with the low-hanging fruit. I'm like, do you have a list? He's like, what's a list? I'm like, okay, do you have any leads? He's like, kind of, not really. I said, okay, well, do you have dead files? He's like, what's a dead file? I'm like, a dead file is somebody who came into your business at one point, right? And you have their contact information. They either trained with you or they didn't and they left, but you have their contact information, their email, right? He's like, oh yeah, I've got tons. I have a whole filing cabinet full of those. I said, okay, this weekend, I want you to grab all those, okay, and put them all in an Excel sheet, like the name and the email address of all the people. And on Monday, I'm going to show you guys a magic trick. I'm going to show you a magic trick. He's like, okay. So that weekend, he went through his dead files. He put everyone's name and email in the list. He came back, and on Monday, I was like, how many do you have? He said, I had a little over 300 people. I said, okay, let me show you a magic trick. I'm going to fill up your gym completely off nothing but your dead files. And he's like, how does that work? I said, watch this. So I took his 300 names. We put them in an email list. And I sent an email to that list. I said something, it was towards the new year. I said, I think the subject line, I tried to get it, he wouldn't let me do this, but subject line was, are you fat again, question mark? He's like, I think it's gonna offend some people. I'm like, okay. But we wrote an email basically saying, hey, at one time you came in the gym, but you're no longer here. Right now we got a special offer where you can come in, I can do a free training session and blah, 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 blah. He sent the email out to just the dead files, right? The 300 some people who come at one point. From that, he got 60 new clients to call him on the phone, come in and do a session, and completely filled up his gym. And then I came back to him like 2 or 3 weeks later. I was like, hey, you ready for step 2? He's like, no. He's like, my gym's filled. There's nothing else. Like all my sessions are filled. I can't do anything else. Okay, all from just an email list. Okay, we guys understand, like this is the power if you're a traditional business, how these email lists work. Okay. I was gonna just to get the wheels in your head spinning because everyone's like, oh, I don't run a pizza place, Russell, or I don't run a gym. Okay, this works in any business. Okay, we had a girl that used to live by us, and I think she was 14 or 15 years old, and she was a babysitter. Okay, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's like every weekend, it's like, oh, I want to go date with my wife, and then you have to call a babysitter, and like all these things. It's like, so frustrating. So we found this one babysitter. She was awesome. Okay, but the problem was she was in high demand. So like, and I didn't know why at the time, but it was like we'd get her one time and it would be hard to get her back and forth. And then one day what she started doing, it was crazy. Every Friday at about noon, we would get a text message. Okay, and this text message went out to us and probably 10 or 15 other families who would babysit. And she would text, she said, hey, this is so-and-so. She said, I'm open to babysit tonight and tomorrow night. If you're interested, text me back, first come, first serve. And I get that text every Friday at like noon, and as soon as it came in, I'm like, oh, and I try to reserve my time, okay? And she was booked up every Friday, every Saturday. She had babysitting lined up every single week for the first, like it was insane because she had this list of 5 or 6 families, 10 families, whatever it was, that she babysat for, and every week she sent the message out, reminding them like, hey, I can babysit tonight. And we're like, oh, thank heavens, I'm not gonna call a babysitter. I can this is great. And like that fast, she'd fill up her schedule just from her tiny email list of like 15, 20 people, okay? So that's kind of how this process works. I'm gonna show you guys an example. Okay, another one. A lot of people are like, well, I'm a network marketer. I'm a network marketer. How does this work for me? Okay, so network marketers. A lot of times, people in network marketing or affiliate marketing are like, this doesn't work because I don't have my own product, Russell. I don't have my own frameworks. I don't have these things. And I'm gonna show you guys about frameworks a lot today. But just think, for example, let's just say one of the network marketing companies I'm really familiar with is Prove It. I do a lot of work with those guys. And Prove It is a product that helps people get their body in ketosis. So it's like, what if Let's say that's your product. That's the result that your company offers, right? So like, what if you went and created a lead magnet that's going to show like, here's my number one recipe on how to get your my number one keto recipe, or here's 12 ways to get in keto fast, or whatever. You make a lead magnet like that, right? And you start driving traffic, like I'm going to show you guys here, and you get a list of 10, 50, 100 people, 500 people who are all downloaded your one-pager, your lead magnet about how to get your body in ketosis, or whatever it is, right? And now if the product you sell is something that's related to getting people in ketosis, now you can send emails to that list and say, hey, we have a special promotion happening. Hey, we have a sample going on. Hey, we have this thing. And you send emails to the list to get people excited. Okay? And this works in any company. I think about doTERRA is another company, right? doTERRA, essential oils. What if I made a one-page or a lead magnet? It's like, hey, here's 6 essential oils to help build up your immunity during COVID-19, right? That becomes a lead magnet. I send it out. People start opting in. I'm building this list of people who are learning about essential oils. Okay, now I've got a list of my dream customers. Now I can send emails, getting them to sign up and become a distributor underneath me. Okay, see how this works? Like there's so many use cases and so many ways, and you'll see more ways to do it here in a minute. E-commerce. Okay, let's say you're in e-commerce and you're like, hey, I'm an e-commerce, Russell. I don't understand this whole list building thing. Okay, well, let's pick your e-commerce store. Let's say you are selling camping stuff, right? So let's say e-com and your market is camping, right? So let's say, okay, I sell camping gear, I sell tents, I sell I don't know what mess kits. I sell camping stuff. I don't even know what camping people do. I'm not a camper. But let's say I've got this camping e-com store, okay? What if I make a lead magnet that's like, hey, the 6 best places in the United States to go camping, or the 5 things you must have to be able to go camping, and I create this lead magnet talking about camping stuff. My dream customers, people interested in camping, buy that, or opt in. They give me the email address. I build a list of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people interested in camping. And now I can send emails like, oh, by the way, have you seen my new camping thing? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And you can sell them the products in your store. Okay? So again, it works for every business. You just have to kind of think a little bit about how to bridge that gap for yourself. Okay, so hopefully some of those examples will get the wheels in your head spinning. I just wanted to start that way because I know some of you guys, a lot of people were like, this is awesome, Russell, but it's not going to work for my specific business. It works for every business. I promise you that, okay? If your business needs leads, it'll work for it. You just got to think outside the box. Like, what is the lead magnet I have that's going to get my dream customers to come to me? Okay? So that's the first thing I want to share to kind of bridge the gap. Okay, now with that, we're going to start diving into the frameworks I want to share with you guys today. Are you guys ready for this? We're going to go, I think I got 3 frameworks I'm going to go deep into that I'm excited to share with you guys. I think, anyway, I think you're going to love them. So the first thing I want to start with, I kind of touched upon this yesterday, but I want to go a lot deeper in it, okay? So every single business, I don't care what business you're in, the first thing you have to ask yourself, step number 1, is always figuring out who. Who is your dream customer? Who is the person that you've been called to serve? Okay? A lot of times people are like, oh, business is business. Like, no. Businesses are all about serving certain group of clients. Okay? My business, I'm obsessed with helping entrepreneurs. Okay? So my dream clients are entrepreneurs, people who are starting their own businesses, people who want to change the world. That's my dream client. I have a very clear picture of who that person is. Okay? So my first question for you is, who is your dream client? Not like who's the random person who sees your ad and comes into the door, right? Who is your dream client? Who is the person that if you could work with them all day long, you do it for free because you love that person so much, right? That's what you got to be thinking through. Who is your dream client? That's the first step in here. And you have to become crystal clear on who that person is. If you don't know who they are, it gets really hard to attract them, right? Okay, if I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to get customers, I don't know. Okay, if you do that, you're gonna attract random people off the street. But if you know exactly who you are looking for, it gets really easy to attract that person. Okay, and I could go on for days. In fact, if you read the .com Secrets book, the very first section, I talk a lot about this. Like, who's your dream customer? You gotta figure out who that person is, okay? So that's the first step. Who's my dream customer? Okay? The second thing you have to understand is that every business is in the job. I don't care what business you're in. Your goal is to figure out who's your dream customer and then get that person a certain result, right? Like, that's the goal. Okay, so I know who my who is. Okay, and the second question is, okay, here's this big journey they're going on up the mountain. And the second thing is, what is the result that I am getting for them? Okay? Now, in most businesses, there's a lot of different types of results. But right now, when you think about what's a certain result that you can get for your dream customer? Okay? So think about it. It's like, let's say you're a dentist, right? So my dream client are people in my local area who want straight teeth, right? That's my dream client. Okay, what's the result I get for them? I help them get straight, clean, white, beautiful teeth. That's the result I get somebody, right? Okay, if you are a masseuse, who's your dream client? It's somebody who's trying to get in good shape, right? Somebody who's trying to get their body in shape, things like that, right? There's your dream client. What's the result you're getting for them? I'm helping getting out of pain, helping them to be more relaxed, and helping them do whatever the thing is, right? There's a result I have for them. If you are any business, right? Like for example, right now, before I started this whole 5-day challenge, my question was, who are my dream clients? My dream clients are people who are trying to figure out how in the world to get leads for their business. Okay, what's the result I want to get people? I want to show them exactly how to build out a lead magnet, a squeeze page funnel, and drive traffic so they can start getting leads. Like, that's the result I wanted to get people when they start on this path, right? So for you, those are two first questions. Who's your dream client? And what is the major result you're trying to get for them? Okay? And now you stop for a second and say, okay, that's the major result I want to try to get for somebody. So then the question is, what is the step-by-step process to get them the result? Okay? You've been on this path before. You've already gotten this result. Okay, if you haven't gotten this result, you're not in the business of getting people that result, right? That way, if you haven't achieved the thing you're trying to promise people you're going to help them with, you shouldn't be in that business, right? Okay, so if you're trying to help someone get that result, it means you've already gotten that result for yourself. So the question then is, well, what were the steps for you to get the result? What was the first thing you had to do to get towards that result? What was the second thing you did? What was the third thing you did? What was the fourth thing you did? What was the fifth thing you did? What were all the steps you did to get that result? Okay, so think for a second. What were the things? Okay, with a 5-day lead challenge, guess what my results were? For number one, I had to create a lead magnet, right? Number two, after I created a lead magnet, I created a lead funnel. After the lead funnel, I had to create an email sequence to build a relationship with the list. After that, I had to launch my funnel to get traffic coming in, right? And then so these were the steps I had to do to get leads into my business. So before I did this whole training, I sat down and said, what's the framework I need to teach people? What are the step-by-step process that I have to show people to do to get the same result that I got? Okay, so I take those step-by-step things and I create what I call a framework. Okay? And a framework is just the step-by-step process, okay? In frameworks, like step number one, you do this. Step number two, you do this. Step 3, 4, 5, 6, and like I walk some people through the actual framework, okay? You call the framework, you call the recipe, like this is the recipe, right? If my results to make a cake, what's the first step of making cake? What's the second? What's the third? What's the fourth? It's not difficult to make a cake when you've got the recipe. Your job as a business is to help people. You're creating a recipe to get your dream customer a certain result. That's all it is. Every business, I don't care what business you're in. You offer people a result and you have some kind of framework, some kind of proprietary framework or recipe or process or something you take somebody through to get the result. That framework, that process is what I'm going to call it your framework. Okay, I like calling it a framework, but it's a framework. It's a step-by-step process. This is the thing that becomes your lead magnet. And I'll go deeper because people are like, well, what? I do a lot of results. What's the right one? I'll show you guys that here in a few minutes, but this is the first key is the framework. Okay. All right. As I was doing notes here today, I was mapping out some businesses. I wanted to share examples for anyone, because again, people are always like, well, how does this work for my specific business? Okay, so here's a framework. So let's just say you're a dentist, right? So you're a dentist, your dream client is somebody who's trying to get straight white teeth. That's the result they want. So what's the step-by-step process? Step number one, you got to brush your teeth twice a day, right? Morning and night. Step number 2, you got to floss. Step number 3, you got to use mouthwash. Step number 4, you got to use teeth whitener. Step number 5, you got to come to the dentist. Step number 6, and you have a step-by-step process to get in that result, right? So if you're a dentist, that's the framework. That becomes the lead magnet that gets somebody to come in. Okay, let's say you are selling a ketogenic diet or you're a network marketing program that sells ketogenic things, okay? So let's say your dream clients, people trying to lose weight. You lost weight, how'd you do it? Here's a step-by-step process I use to lose weight on the keto diet or the paleo diet or the whatever your thing is, right? Here's my step-by-step process. That becomes the framework now that you're gonna share with people, okay? I was gonna show you some examples. So some of the products I've created throughout the years. My very first product I ever created, some of you guys have heard about this one, was my How to Make Potato Gun. Okay? All this was me saying, okay, who's my dream client? Someone who wants to make a potato gun, right? What's the result? I'm gonna teach you how to make a potato gun, make a potato gun. What's the step-by-step process? Step number 1, you gotta go to Home Depot and buy the pipes. Step number 2, you gotta cut the pipes this length. Step number 3, you gotta get the glue. Step number 4, and basically I wrote out, here's the framework of the step-by-step process to create a potato gun. I sat there with a video camera and I recorded myself teaching step 1, 2, 3, 4. But this was just a framework of how I made a potato gun. Right? That's it. And that became a product I could then sell, or I could use it as a lead magnet, or I could use it for a coaching program, whatever it is. But this framework is a step-by-step process to get a certain result. Okay, there's the result. Let's see. If you've read any of my books, right? All my books, these T's like .com secrets are all the frameworks of all the sales funnels, how to build sales funnels. Expert secrets is the frameworks on how you tell the stories to convert people inside your funnels. Traffic secrets are all my frameworks to get traffic, right? If you look at one of my books, network marketing secrets, these are all my frameworks. If my dream client's a network marketer, the result is how to use funnels to get leads for network marketing. This book was my step-by-step framework to be able to do that, right? 30 days. This is one of our products called 30days.com. And what I did is I interviewed 30 people and I asked them this question. I said, okay, let's say you're going to a brand new complete newbie, somebody who didn't know anything, right? So there's my who. And their goal is, how did I build a business in 30 days using nothing but ClickFunnels, what I do? And I had 30 people write a chapter saying, okay, well, this is what I would do. My step would be step 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the process I would go through to get that result. I had 30 different people each write a chapter in here telling me what their step-by-step result would be to help somebody who's brand new to launch a funnel inside of ClickFunnels in 30 days. Okay, I took all these, put them into a book, and became a product. But I could take one chapter out of this, and that chapter could be a lead magnet, right? Like, let me show you how Liz Benny, her 30-day plan to go from beginner to startup, how it worked. Give me your email address. I'm going to give you Liz Benny's plan, right? I can take one of those out, and that framework is something that can become a lead magnet. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what that's what a framework is. Does that make sense, you guys? And so all of you guys have frameworks. Every single one of you guys has a framework. And so I want you to start thinking through, like, what are your frameworks? What could your frameworks be? Okay, because everyone's got them. So I want you to start thinking through that. Okay? And I'm going to show you guys in a minute how to pick the right framework, because my guess is you have more than one. Right? Most of you guys have more than one result you can get somebody. Okay, but the key there is you're creating a framework. Now, one thing that I'm excited for today, you guys will learn about in your homework, is how do you make that framework tangible? Right? A lot of us have a framework. Oh, I have a process. How do I turn that into a lead magnet? How do I make it a tangible thing? Okay, how many of you guys yesterday downloaded the one-pager I gave you? Okay, the one-pager is my new favorite tool. As you can tell, I'm obsessed with it. Every day of this challenge, you are getting a one-pager, and then I'm giving you a bonus one this weekend I created too. Okay, the one-pager, literally all it is it's taking this framework you created and it's making it tangible. Okay, it's tangible where somebody can actually take it. They can give you the email address, you can give them something. Okay, so the one-pager is a way to take your framework and then turn it into something you can give people. Okay. And again, your homework assignment tonight is you're going to have a chance to actually take your framework and you're going to build it out one-pager. So when it's done, you've got this amazing one-pager here where it's got your entire framework built out, okay? Like I said, you guys got one. Yes, you got one of my one-pagers yesterday as an example. I'm going to give you another one today, and you'll see it as an example of an actual framework. In fact, can you, back in the house, can you guys just pull up the homework, the framework for today? Okay, so this is the framework I'm going to be giving you guys tonight for your homework. And I'm not going to go through it now, but if you scroll down really, really quickly, this is basically taking day 2's framework, the step-by-step process, and it's all in here, right? So I took my framework and I made it tangible by turning it into a one-pager that now I'm going to give all you guys. So my goal for you guys is the same kind of thing, is you're going to take this framework you're creating, we're going to make it tangible by turning it into a one-pager, then you can give somebody when they give you the email address, okay? Okay. All right. One other thing. Oh yeah, one other thing, while we're talking about frameworks, this is happening more than I think most of you guys realize, more than I realize. And it's, I want you guys to see it. If you watch the way that I teach, the products I sell, the things I'm doing all the time, they're always frameworks, right? Everything I'm doing is a framework. In .com Secrets, there's probably 30 different frameworks I share. Expert Secrets is probably 22 different frameworks. Traffic Secrets is like 40 frameworks. Like, they're just different frameworks I'm teaching people, right? And they're all in there. And how many of you guys know what this is right here? This is the manual for Unleash the Power Within. So this is interesting. So 10 years ago, I went to Unleash the Power Within, Tony Robbins' event. actually probably 12 years ago now. First time I met him in person was at this event. It was really, really cool. And as I went through this 4-day event, I remember just being blown away. I was like, this is the most amazing thing in the world. Like, I don't know how Tony does this. How does he get on stage for 50 hours straight without any notes and teach all this kind of stuff and like has these things where he's transforming people's lives. Like, it was just the most amazing thing. Okay, I felt like almost like the Wizard of Oz. Like, how is he doing this? I have no idea how he's making this whole thing happen. Right? It was so cool to see. And so that was kind of the thing. And then 12 years later, UPW went virtual, right? And so I wanted my kids to experience it. So we signed up, my wife, my kids, we all did it together. We got the workbooks, and we sat down, and Tony got on stage, virtual stage, day number 1, he started teaching. And as he was teaching, really quickly, I was looking at his whole teaching through a different lens than I typically did, right? In the past, like 10, 12 years ago, the first time I went to UPW, I was just like, this is amazing. I don't know this is even happening. Okay, now 12 years later, I've had enough experience. I was like, I want to study not so much what he's teaching, but how he's teaching. Well, like, what's his process? Like, how does this actually work? And day 1, he started teaching, and all of a sudden he started teaching, and he broke out his very first framework, and he started teaching his very first framework. There was a result he was trying to teach us, and he walked us through his first framework. And I was like, interesting. So what I did is I opened up my notebook, and the very first page here, I wrote down the framework. The framework was called 3 Levels of Mastery. Okay? The result that Tony was trying to get everybody at UPW is, let me show you how to master something, how to gain mastery. He said there's 3 steps to it. Step number 1 is this. Step number 2 is this, and step number 3 is this. And he spent like 45 minutes teaching 3 levels of mastery, and I was like, cool. And then all of a sudden he went to the next framework. He said, okay, next framework. He didn't say it this way. He said, okay, next thing is the 3 mandates of leadership. I'm going to teach you guys the result, how to become a leader. He said there's 3 mandates of leadership. Step number 1 is this. Step 2 is this. Step 3 is this. And he went on. I wrote down that. I said, there's the second framework he taught, 3 mandates of leadership. And all of a sudden, Tony went from there to the next one. He said, okay, I'm going to teach you guys my success cycle. Boom, the result, how to be successful. Okay, here's the step-by-step process for the success cycle. And then he went on the next one, and it was the 3 decisions that change your life. He said, here's the result. I'm going to show you guys how to change your life. Here's the 3 decisions. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, then he went the 3 patterns of focus and meaning, right? How to change the meaning in your life, okay? How to change your meaning, you change your life. Here's the 3 patterns of focus, okay? And then the 2 primary fears. You're struggling, you have these fears. Here's the 2 primary fears, how to break them. Number 3, the 3 ways to grow a business. Boom, boom, boom. The 2 ways to master skills. The 3 forces of creation. The 3 chunks of practical psychology. The 3 things that cause suffering. The triad, the 3 molders of meaning. And then the 6 human needs. And I watched them. That was day 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So day number 1 at UPW, Tony went through 13 different frameworks. This is how Tony's able to get up and speak for 50 hours without notes. He's like, I have my frameworks, I know what they are, and I'm just going to go through them in order. Step number 1, I'm going to teach you guys the 3 levels of mastery. Step number 2, the 3 mandates of leadership. Step number 3, the success cycle, and on and on and on. And boom, that was day number 1 at UPW. Day number 2, he had a whole another set of frameworks. Day number 3, a whole other set of frameworks. Day number 4, a whole other set. Okay? All of you guys have frameworks to do the thing that you do. You just didn't know what it was, right? First time I watched Tony speak, I was so mesmerized by everything I didn't understand. And all of a sudden, the second time I felt like it was like the Wizard of Oz. Like, I saw the guy behind the curtain, like, oh, he's got a whole bunch of frameworks that are amazing, and he's teaching them. Like, that's the secret, right? A lot of you guys are like, no, I clean people's teeth. Like, no, you don't, okay? You went to dental school, and somebody taught you a result, right? You learned the skill set, and you came back, and now you follow the step-by-step framework to get people's teeth clean. Or you're an orthodontist, and you know how to get the results, like get people's teeth straight. That's what I do. No. All you did is you went to college, you learned a framework, you came back, and now you apply that framework to get people's teeth straight. Every business you're in, that's all it is, right? Okay? You have a dream customer, they want a result. You know how to give them that result. You went through the process, you paid the price at one point. Either you did it through school or through learning for somewhere. Somehow you learned that thing, and now you're helping them through the process. That's it. That's the game, you guys. You have to start understanding that you have these frameworks, okay? And so that is the key to building out lead magnets. It's the key to creating products. It's the key to creating services. Key to creating everything is understanding that you have frameworks and start looking for them, okay? So I wanted to show you that because I want you to see, like, that's what everyone's doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what Tony's doing. We have our frameworks. We teach them. We show them, okay? Some of my frameworks come in training like this. Some of my frameworks come, take my frameworks, I develop them into software. Okay, some people create frameworks, then turn those frameworks into supplements. Here's the supplements to take to get the result I want. Some people do it into coaching, some people do it consulting, some people do it with actual physical products. Like every single business is that, right? Think about a restaurant. What's the result in a restaurant, right? My dream client, somebody who's hungry, I'm going to feed them this food. They're going to feel happy. What's the step-by-step process? They come in, we feed them this, we do this, we take it, and here's the process we go through. Okay? So all you guys have frameworks. The value you have is your frameworks. Okay? So when you start thinking through that through a different lens, and some of you guys are like, I don't have frameworks yet. I promise you do. You just haven't started identifying. This is your job to start breaking down, like, what are my frameworks? What are the things I know how to do? When I created my potato gun DVD, I didn't know it was a framework. I just knew how to build a potato gun, right? So I made a product teaching it. Looking back now, it's like, oh, I wanted I built I built a potato gun, so I had a result. I just wanted to replicate it, so I walked into the process, and now everyone can build a potato gun. There's a recipe. It's really simple to do. Okay? All right. So this is the key. You guys understand that? So next question is like, well, what? Like Tony had 13 different results and frameworks for day one. Like what framework should I be using, right? That's the big question. Okay? So let me come back. And so what I want to talk about is there's this path, right? There's this path of you taking your dream customer on a journey. And there's different results you can give somebody, right? There's like big results. Like if you look at my mission, right? My mission is to help entrepreneurs like you to grow their companies through sales funnels. That's the big result. Like that's the ultimate result that I want to get for somebody. Okay? But there's a lot of sub results underneath that, right? And so what I did the other day, I was trying to map this out as I was preparing to teach this. I'm like, how do you break this down in a way that's simple for people, right? So think about like for you with your clients, there's the ultimate result, right? So this is the thing, ULTI, ultimate result. Okay? So for me, my ultimate result is I'm gonna help you grow your company through sales funnels. Now the problem typically with an ultimate result is a big goal, it's awesome, but guess what? It's typically not a very sexy hook. If I was like, I'm gonna teach you guys how to grow your company with sales funnels. Like, is that hook good? It's like, oh, it's okay, but it's not like great, right? Typically our ultimate result we're trying to get somebody is not like the sexiest, most exciting thing in the world because it's so broad, it's so big, it's just not that tangible, okay? 35,000 people would not have registered for this event if I was like, hey, if you sign up for this 5-day event, I'm gonna teach you how to grow your company with sales funnels. You're like, right? So the ultimate result's like, this is what we're trying to take people. This is typically not what we're actually selling, okay? Underneath this ultimate result, there's a whole bunch of what I call core results that we offer people, right? So you come down here and there's just different core results. Okay, I'm gonna list a couple of them here. And every business has these core results, okay? So for me, like for example, if my goal is to grow your company through sales funnels, well, how do I do that? There's a lot of ways to do that, right? Well, one core result is that I could do that by teaching you guys how to build and launch a webinar. That's one way, right? Makes sense. Okay, another way I can do it is like, let me show you how to drive traffic into your funnels. And if you learn how to drive traffic, that'll lead to your ultimate result. Oh, another one is I'm going to show you how to write copy, right? How to tell your stories, right? Another one is going to be whatever, right? So I have these core results here. So this is the ultimate result. These are your core results. I'll write this right here so you can see it. Core results. Okay, that's the second thing here. So these are the core results. Okay. Now, typically, if you look at most businesses, the core results, these become like your actual products, right? So I have a product teaching people how to grow a company with a webinar, right? Perfect Webinar Secrets. I teach people here's how to write a webinar and how to do the sales page and how to do your webinar funnel, how to drive traffic and how to do leads and how to close the sale. Like I have a whole course that teaches that, right? And so some people are coming here and be like, oh, I want to learn about build a webinar. That's way sexier. They're gonna come in here, they're gonna buy the thing on webinars, right? Which ultimately is gonna help them to grow their company with sales funnels because webinar is the type of funnel, right? Or traffic, right? That's the Traffic Secrets book, right? Traffic Secrets, like if you have a funnel, you need to get traffic to drive to grow your business, right? So I have this book, Traffic Secrets, that teaches people how to get traffic, which ultimately helps them with the ultimate result I'm trying to get you, which is how to grow your company's sales funnels. Because traffic is one piece of that, right? Copy is one piece of that. All these things are a piece of that. Okay, so think about your business, right? Like what is the ultimate result that you offer your clients? Okay, the end all, be all. I want to help people to transform their life. I want to help people to whatever the thing might be, right? So now break it down. Like, what are the 4 or 5 things they have to master or learn? What are the things that are the core results that they're gonna have to learn to be successful at this, right? So for me, typically, and by the way, you can see this here magically inside my books. First thing I have to learn is how to master funnels. Number 2, I have to learn how to master copy inside the funnels. Number 3, I have to learn how to get traffic. Okay? So like if you were writing a trilogy like I did for your business, here's the ultimate result. What are the different books or products or things that are gonna help ultimately help people to get that ultimate result, right? Okay, so and again, I want you brainstorming through this and you're gonna be doing something on your homework down here. So I'm gonna have you say, okay, here's my ultimate result. Here's the core results, okay? Now the next step after that, okay, because this is where we're actually gonna be selling something. And actually, when you guys decide to join the One Funnel Away Challenge, I'm actually, next week, we're doing One Funnel Away Challenge. We're starting over from scratch. I'm doing it live, just like I'm doing this live. I'm gonna do it live for 30 days. It's a 30-day challenge. And in the 30-day challenge, we're gonna be focusing on taking one of these and actually building out an entire funnel to sell something, right? Okay, this challenge is about generating leads. The next challenge is about actually selling something. So the One Funnel Away Challenge, I highly recommend you guys when this challenge is over to sign up for that one. Again, I go live on Monday, but I'm gonna teach, we're taking this and how to make a sales funnel selling one of your core results you offer somebody, okay? Okay, but now I want to take one more step further. So for your primary lead magnet, okay, the lead magnet you're bringing in, I'm not using this as my lead magnet, okay? I'm going to go one more tier deep, okay? So under webinar, there's a bunch of these splinter results, okay? So I'm going to call these splinter results or frameworks, okay? And every step has got them. So I'm going to call it splinter / frameworks. Sorry, my handwriting's horrible, but on the one page you guys get, you'll be able to see my actual handwriting, okay? So these are the splinter results, okay? So if you look at this, my ultimate result, I'm trying to get people to grow their company with sales funnels, okay? One of my core results is like, I'm gonna show you how to build a webinar funnel, because if you have a webinar funnel successful, you're gonna be able to grow your company with a funnel, a webinar funnel, right? So then inside a webinar funnel, like, what are all the pieces? What are the core things? I start looking, okay, well, to be successful with a webinar, number one, you have to learn how to like actually write a webinar presentation, right? So that's the core result, right? Or excuse me, a splinter result is I got to teach you. So I'll do this in black. This is how to actually write your webinar. Okay. So for me, my framework here is called the perfect webinar. Perfect webinar. That's the framework. Okay. Over here, okay, you have a webinar presentation. That's awesome. But you also, if you've got the presentation, you also need the webinar funnel, right? If you have the funnel, then you also got how do you drive traffic? So there's traffic inside of here. There's a bunch of different these sub results. Okay. And one of them. One of the frameworks in here is how do you get people to actually show up? Get people to actually show up to a webinar, right? So these are all these splinter frameworks that I have, okay? Now, your splinter frameworks, these are the key. This is what becomes your lead magnet, okay? The further down you go on this, the sexier the thing becomes because it becomes more and more and more and more specific. The more specific it is, the sexier it is. Okay, your lead magnet wants something to be so sexy that people are going crazy. They have to get it, right? I showed you guys yesterday, double your dating. What was the lead magnet? The kiss test. How to find out when you're in the doorstep, how to find out if she's ready to be kissed or not. Okay, the ultimate results for this person to get married and fall in love, right? Down here, it's like how to find a girl. Down here is the kiss test, right? Okay, the kiss test is sexy. That's the thing like, oh, I need to know that framework, right? I got to figure that thing out. Okay, so for you, it's like, what is this? Like, what is the thing that's the most sexy, exciting, intriguing? Someone's like, oh, I need to know that thing. What is it? Okay, so for the example I'm going to show you guys tonight in your homework is I decided to pick this one right here. I said, okay, the one I'm going to pick is this right here, how to actually show up to the webinar. So I took that over here. I said, okay, how do you get people to show up to the webinar? What's my framework for that? And I had 7 steps. Okay, so here's my framework. Step 1, step 2, step 3, 7 steps. Okay, here's 7 things I do to make sure people actually show up to the webinar, and they're prepared to buy from you. Okay, and I turned it into a framework, and then from there, I turned it into a one-pager. Okay, and that became my lead magnet. Okay, and some of you guys saw yesterday, notice it was on your homework. Do you see it? I did it ahead of time, but on your homework yesterday, some of you guys saw that. If you clicked on the second of the 3 lead funnels, the second one is called Secret Webinar Hacks. You clicked on that, and you saw this framework, right? It was the 7 things that I do to make sure people actually show up to our webinar and buy. Okay, and some of you guys opted into that, and you got it. You got the one-pager of this thing, right? Okay, that was sexy. People who were like trying to figure out this whole webinar thing, they're like, oh, how does this work? Like, oh, how do you get people to show up? Like, that's a good question. Like, I don't know how to get people to show up, right? That's the sexy hook. That becomes the lead magnet. Someone's gonna say, hey, I'll give you my email address for that. I need that piece. I need that nugget, that thing you've got, like that KISS test, okay? How to show up to a webinar, like whatever that thing is. Like, I need that thing. They give you your email address, and now you're able to exchange it for them, okay? So that's the core. That's how we make these things sexy, right? We're pulling out the lead magnet here from the splinter results. Okay? And so that's the big secret. So what I want you guys thinking about in your business is, what does this look like? And for all you guys, it's going to be different. You guys start thinking through it, okay? From a high level, what is the ultimate result that you're trying to get for your clients? Okay? What is that? Okay? The ultimate result, that is the thing that's up here on the top of the thing. This is the ultimate result, right? Okay? Now you break it down and say, okay, what are the core results, okay? There's gonna be 3, 4, 5, 10 different core results that all lead to this, okay? And each of those is its own journey. It's its own result, right? Okay? There's gonna be 4 or 5 mountains you gotta get to before you scale Everest, right? So what are those other mountains? What are these other results you get for somebody? Those are the core results, okay? And then from the core results, it's like, okay, let me do it one more tier lower. What are all the things that go into the core result, right? Here's the different frameworks I have. There's 4 or 5 frameworks for that. And I'm gonna grab this one, that becomes the sexiest, and that's how it's gonna work. Okay, if you look about, like, to think about this, I'm gonna go back to my books for a second. So let's say .com secrets, for example, okay? So my ultimate result is to help you grow your company with sales funnels. This book right here is the underground playbook for growing your company with sales funnels. So this becomes a core result, right? You buy this book, it's gonna teach you guys the core results about building a funnel, okay? But that core result inside of here, there are, how many secrets? 28. There's 28 secrets, okay? So for me, each secret is a framework, okay? So I could grab, I look at all my 28 frameworks, like, which one's the most exciting? There's a whole bunch in here. There's the secret formulas, hook, story, offer. There's the value ladder. There's attractive character. There's funnel hacking. There's 7 phases of a funnel. There's follow-up funnels. There's lead squeeze funnels, survey funnels, summit funnels, book funnels, cart funnels, challenge funnels, VSL funnels, webinar funnels, product launch funnels, application funnels, curiosity-based headline scripts, who, what, why, how script, star story solution script, OTO script. There's the perfect webinar script, the product launch script, the 4-question close script, the setter closer script. There's click funnels, funnel stacking, funnel audible. So that's the 28 frameworks inside this book. So I would look at that and say, okay, which one of those 28 frameworks is the most exciting? Okay, and I'm like, okay, what's the one that's gonna be the most exciting? I'm curious for you guys, which one would be the most exciting? Okay, with a secret formula, who here wants secret formula? Okay, I could take the secret formula and that becomes the framework that I'm gonna give away, turn it into a lead magnet, right? Or I could take funnel audibles. How many of you guys like, oh, what happens if your funnel flops? What do? Boom, I could take the funnel audibles one, take the step-by-step framework I have for that one, right? Turn to one pager, make up a landing page, and boom, that fast I've got a lead magnet. Okay? So start thinking about your business that way. What are all the frameworks, the sub-frameworks, the splinter results that are inside of the core thing you're trying to teach people? Okay? And in there is the magic. I'm looking, what's the sexiest thing that's gonna get people to raise their hand? Find that thing, pull it out, look at, here's the step-by-step process, and then we're gonna turn it into one pager tonight, and this can become a tangible thing that now you can exchange for an email address. Does that make sense? Okay, all right, I'm excited. I got one more thing I wanna share with you guys today, and then I'm gonna give you your homework assignment. So the last thing I wanna share with you guys, I know that a lot of you are coming into this world. You didn't come here as an educator, right? You came here because you're really good at getting this result. And now you're like, man, for me to create a lead magnet, I've got to educate people. I've got to give them a framework and teach it in a way that gets them excited and makes them want to continue this journey with me, right? And you're probably nervous. And so I want to share with you guys a framework that's going to teach you how to actually teach your framework, okay? And this is something I use over and over and over again. And it's my framework for how to teach frameworks, okay? And so I'm going to show you guys how this process works. Because as you start creating a framework, you're gonna have to know how to do this. Okay, so step number 1, you take your framework. Okay, so here's your framework. You've got your thing, and here's your steps, right? Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many steps you got. And I don't care, it could be 2 steps. It could be like some of Tony's were some of Tony's here were the 3 levels of mastery, 3 mandates, the two primary fears, the 2 master skills. So your framework doesn't have to be like 80 steps. It can be 2 steps, okay? It doesn't matter, but you have your framework, okay? So now you have this framework, like how do you teach this, okay? I remember when I first started developing my own frameworks, I didn't know it was called that at the time, but I remember I was learning this stuff, I was putting it in my notes, and I was like, I'm gonna teach this. And I got invited to speak at a seminar. And I remember I got there at the seminar, I was so nervous, I was so awkward. Some of you guys have seen the video. I had my tie on, I had my glasses on, I had a shaved head, and I was trying to be very businessy, because that's what business people do, I thought. And I got there to start teaching, and first thing I do is like, okay, I've got this framework, I know exactly how to change their lives, right? I've gone on this path, I got a result, I'm gonna give them the result, I'm gonna shove it down their throats, right? I was like, okay, here we go. I came in, I started teaching the framework. All right, guys, my name is Russell Brunson. Step number 1, how to be successful. What you do. Step number 2, and I went through my framework, right? And this framework is something that I had spent years learning and understanding and mastering. It was so important to me, right? I remember I'm at this event teaching 200 or 300 people. As I'm teaching people, I start looking around, and the audience is like nodding off. People are falling asleep. People getting up and walking out of the room. And I remember being so frustrated, thinking like, they don't know like what I'm giving them? Like this is so valuable. I remember there's a scripture in the New Testament where Christ talks about like not casting your pearls before swine. And literally that's how I felt. I'm like, this is this pearl I spent 2 or 3 years mastering and learning and understanding this result I know how to do. I'm trying to give it to people. I felt like I was casting my pearls before swine. How frustrating is that for you as an educator? I was ready to quit. I was like, this is dumb. Like none of these people even understand what I'm giving them. Like they understood like what I had to learn and understand. Like I literally had to bleed to learn these things for them. And they're just like walking away from them. I was so frustrated. So I did the first event. I was like, that was horrible. Like, I got invited to another event. Same thing. I come in. Okay, I'm gonna change these people's lives. Here we go. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and people are passing out. Go to the 3rd event, and I'm just so discouraged. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, I feel like I'm just wasting my time, wasting their time. I get on stage and start teaching it. I go through the first thing, the second thing. Some guy stands up and walks out. I get so mad. I slam my hand down on the desk, and everyone sits up. I remember like being kind of shocked. I had everyone's attention. And then the angry Russell came out. And I said, do you not understand what I'm about to give you guys? I'm trying to share this. Some dude just walked out. Half of you guys are sound asleep. Let me explain to you what I had to go through to understand, to learn this. And I started walking through. I had to buy this course and this course and this course. Then I did this. I lost money here. I almost went bankrupt here. I did this. I started going through all the story about how I learned and how I earned this framework. I went through the process, and when they were done, when I was done telling that story, I was like, now you guys want to hear this? And they're like, we're ready. I said, okay, step number 1 is this. Boom. And guess what? Nobody moved. Nobody got up, nobody left, nobody fell asleep, because now they respected the pearl that I was trying to give to them. Okay? The first step when you are teaching your framework, step number 1, is you have to tell the story about how you learned it or earned it. If you do not tell them the story about how you learned or you earned it, they will not respect what you're about to give them. This is the pre-frame that gets them prepared to be worthy of the thing you're trying to give them. Okay? This increases the perceived value. Now they're like, oh my gosh, he went through all this pain and suffering and torture to get this thing for me. I'm going to pay attention to it now. So step number 1, you tell them the story about how you learned or you earned it. Okay? Step number 2 now. Now here's where you teach them the strategy. Okay? The strategy is the overarching thing. Okay? What I'm doing today, this is strategy. This is me mapping out. Here's the strategy of how to do it. Okay? I'm teaching the strategy so you understand the concept. Okay? Let's say I'm an army general and I got all these warriors about to go to war. And if I don't tell them the strategy first, I'm like, hey, you go over here, you go over here. I start giving them the tactics about where they're going to go. People are like, why am I going over here? This makes no sense, right? Most of them aren't going to follow you. If you want people to follow you into war, the first thing you have to do is explain to them, here's the strategy. Here's what we are trying to do. When they understand the strategy, now it's like, hey, here's the tactics. You go over here, you go over here. Like, okay, I'm going over here because I'm part of this. I understand the strategy. Okay, so next thing you do is you have to share them the strategy. Okay? Do you guys notice that every single day as I'm going live here, what am I doing? I'm teaching you guys the strategy of that part of the framework. Okay? I'm not going into tactics. The homework does the tactics, right? The homework is like, hey, let me log into OnePager and do the thing. Let me log into ClickFunnels and show you step 1, step like, okay? Here I'm showing you the strategy. If you believe in the strategy, then you're going to go and do anything it takes to go and fulfill on the tactics. If I just give you the tactics, though, you're going to be lost. Okay? So I teach you the strategy. After you understand the strategy, then number 3, now here's where you give them the tactics. Okay, the tactics are like, okay, let me show you how to do it. Step number 1, you got to go do this. Step number 2, like tactics are college, right? If you're a dentist, it's like, let me teach you how to clean teeth or how to do the thing, right? The tactics are like the deep dive, the step by step. Here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, where you're showing them the thing. Tactics are less sexy, but they're the things that people need to be able to get the job done. Okay? And then the 4th thing after I taught the tactics, then the last thing here, is then we show them case studies. Like, let me show you how this works in other people's lives, because this gives them belief of like, oh my gosh, this does work. I see how it works now in practical application. Okay? So this is my framework for how to teach frameworks. Okay, so for you guys, when you go tonight and you're like, hey, I need to build a framework, you're going to go and you're going to build out your framework, your step-by-step process, right? You're going to put it in one page where you have like the things in the one page where they've got all the stuff they need, but then you got to teach them this framework. Okay? You got to make a video of you showing, here's how I learned or I earned it. Here's the overarching strategy. Okay? Go in the one page down below and fulfill all the tactics, and here's some cases of people that have done it. Okay? This is how you do it. If you look at any chapter in any of my books, this is what I do. Okay? .com Secrets, chapter 1, guess what I do? The secret formula. First thing I do, I start with me telling the story about how I learned or I earned this concept, right? It was 11:27 a.m. on a Monday morning. No matter what I told myself, I just couldn't get out of bed. And I tell the story about how I learned or I earned the secret formula, right? Then I tell them the strategy. Then I walk up through the tactics, and then I share a case study about how the whole thing works. That's chapter 1. Then I go chapter 2. What's chapter 2? The value ladder. What do? I first tell the dentist story, how I learned I earned it. Then I walk you through the strategy. I walk you through the tactics, share a case study. That's chapter 2. Then I go to chapter 3. Guess how I do it? Boom. How I learned to earn it. Teach the strategy. Show them the tactics. Do a case study. That's book 1, book 2, book 3. That's how this whole process works over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? That's my framework for how to teach frameworks. I do it in a book. I do it in a course. I've done it today, for crying out loud, right? I just come in here like, hey guys, let me go and show you guys how to build a framework. How many stories have I told you about how I learned to earn these different pieces? Right? The strategies, things like that. Okay? That's the principle. So this is what we have to start learning how to do. Okay? And that is kind of, I think that's the last thing I want to share. All right, how you guys feeling? You guys excited so far? Okay, I want you guys to actually pull up the one page. So scroll up really quick. So this is your, this is the one pager we're going to be giving you guys right now. And the guys in the back, if you guys can scroll it up so I can see the very top of the page here, that'd be awesome. Hopefully we'll get them. There we go. Okay, so this is the one page I'm going to give you. Okay, now this one pager, just so you guys are fully aware in all transparency, this one pager is my framework for how to create a lead magnet, okay? I just taught you the strategy, right? I've told you guys how I learned or I earned it. I taught you guys the strategy. This framework is gonna be the tactics, okay? And so what's gonna happen, you're gonna see here's the strategy right here. Here's how you create a one pager account, and then it's gonna walk you through the tactics. Step number one, who is your dream customer? Okay, I taught you guys the strategy behind that. The tactics, you're gonna start typing in here, typing what is it gonna be. Step number two, what's the ultimate result? Step number three, what are the core results? Step number four, pick one core result and list 3 to 5 splinter results. Okay, step five, pick your splinter result, and then step number six, you're gonna go to one page and actually do it. Okay, and I got my second framework down here, this the framework, how to teach frameworks. Okay, you're gonna fill it out, like how did you learn to earn this framework? You're gonna be sharing with people. Okay, explain the strategy, walk them through tactics, show the case study. Okay, so this one page is gonna give you the tactics of how to fulfill on everything that we talked about today. Okay, I want to walk through so you guys understand what we did today was strategy, this is tactics. A lot of people get confused, like what's the difference between tactics and strategy? Okay, here I'm helping you cast the vision of like, oh, this is what we're doing. And then over here now we're getting to work, now we're doing the things. Okay, scroll back up to the very top real quick. The other thing is that every single one page has a video. Okay, this video right here is me doing the tactics. You're gonna see me click on the button, or when you click play on this, you're gonna see me going, and I actually go into one pager. I build the thing out. I show you like, here's step one, here's step two. Like this is like just like yesterday. This is me in my house doing the homework assignment with you. So you can see me doing the tactical, like doing every single thing. Here's step one, here's step two, and so like literally you can just watch me and just model it. Okay, and so for you guys, what I recommend doing is going into one pager as you do this. Right? You take whatever framework you decided, okay, you're gonna plug it into one pager, and this video will teach you kind of how to do that, okay? And then when it's done, you need to record yourself teaching it. And you don't have to, you can take the videos away on one pager, but I highly recommend if you can make a one pager and plug in a video of you teaching this right here, okay? And literally, like, this is my one pager for how to make waffle dough at home or whatever, right? This is my one pager about how to get more clients into my massage clinic. This is my one pager about how to publish your music as a band. This is like whatever your thing is, right? Okay, you create the one pager, and then the videos is basically gonna go through this, okay? Like, hey, this is Russell. Let me tell you a story about how I learned and I earned this framework for you, okay? And some people ask me, what's the difference between learned and earned? Learned is stuff that you learned by trial and error, right? Learning, you learned it from somebody, like from a teacher or a mentor, you read a book or a course or whatever, right? I talk about learning, and I always give credit where credit's due. If I learn something from somebody else, I always tell people that, right? And then earned it is like, I earned it through my own blood, sweat, and tears, okay? So how did you discover this framework that you're sharing with them? Tell them that story, okay? And then explain the overarching strategy. This is what is happening. This is why it's so cool, okay? Here's the tactics. And then actually do the assignment with them. Go through the one page, like, here's step one, here's step two, do that, and show case studies of how you've done that for people in the past. Record that video, and then plug it in, boom, right there. Okay? And it's simple, easy to do. Some of you guys who've never done a video before, this will be kind of scary. And it's okay, because right now nobody's gonna see this besides you. Okay, you can get your iPhone, click record, and be like, hey, my name's Russell, and just go through this as well. Like, it doesn't have to be professional or anything. Just teach the framework. And that video of you teaching the framework gets plugged in right here. And now when they come here, they got the framework. They got the video teaching them, showing them this here. Okay, and then down below they got the actual one pager that's gonna be the framework for them. Okay? And so that's kind of the game plan. And so this right here, this one pager is going to teach you guys how to actually build your one pager, your lead magnet in one pager, okay, which is kind of cool. Now, one pager is exciting. It just went live today. This is a new software product. There's probably going to be some bugs and some issues. Like yesterday, you guys all downloaded the one pager from yesterday, and we had, I think it was like I can't remember, 8,000 or 9,000 people downloaded it in 1 minute, and then from that had like 2 or 3 million hits to the database, and it was the first time we'd ever actually like launched this before, and it kind of crashed a couple times. Some of you guys may have seen that, okay? So this is a new product. It literally went live today. There's gonna be some issues and things. Let us know. We're working on it, making it better, but it is insanely cool. As you will see, all my one pagers for this training have been built in it, and you guys have a chance to build it. We also set up so you can create your very first one pager for free. So if you're like, I don't have any money, Russell, that's cool. Just you follow the process, the software will let you create your first one for free. So you got one lead magnet that's completely free. You can build it, mess it up, delete it, start over until you got it perfected and understood, and now you've got a tangible thing. You've turned your framework from just a random framework into something tangible. Now this framework, this core concept I have, now it's a framework. Now I can actually give this to them. Now it's a tangible thing. I can give somebody this in exchange for their email address. Okay? And that's the secret. That's the power. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna have my team put the link down below for you guys to get your day number 2 homework assignment. Okay, and links, there it is right there, 5dayleadchallenge.com/lead magnet. It'll redirect you to this page right here. After you get the page, you can save it into your one pager account and then go and do the assignment. Watch the video, do the things, fill it out, brainstorm. Okay, fill in the forms. Like, don't just like My dream client's this. Like, think through it. Spend some time, okay? Go deep in this. By the time you're done, if you finish this assignment, by the time it's done, you're going to have your first one pager. I promise you, the very first time it's going to be frustrating. It's new. It's like, in fact, it's funny. I built 6 one-pagers this weekend for this training, right? I built day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 1, I built it. I was like, this is kind of cool, but it looked ugly. And then day 2, I got better. Day 3, I got better. By day 4, like, my one-pager looked so awesome. I was like, oh, I hate day 1 now. So I went back to day number 1. I deleted the whole thing. I started over. And now day 1, as you guys saw yesterday, looked awesome, right? And I redid day 2, which is today. Now day 2 looks awesome. And I keep, as you keep doing this, you'll get better and better and better. But even like looking at my one-pagers, okay, look at the one I gave you guys yesterday. Look at the one I'm giving you guys today. And like, this will give you ideas like, oh, what you could do. Like, oh, I could do that. I could try that. And you can just kind of play with it a little bit. And that's kind of how it works, okay? So again, the link down below, 5dayleadchallenge.com/lead magnet will give you the one-pager. Spend some time today and tonight actually creating a one-pager. We need that because tomorrow, day number 3, in my process to help you guys get the result of getting unlimited leads, day number 3 is now we got to build your lead funnel, okay? And so to build your lead funnel, we have to have the lead magnet. So build the lead magnet today. Again, you can edit it in the future. You can change it. It does not have to be perfect. Just kind of play with it, put it in there. And then tomorrow when we build the lead funnel, we'll be taking this lead magnet you build, we'll be plugging it into the funnel, and now you'll have something you can like send people to. They'll give you their email address. You'll get in the lead magnet, and your business will start growing. That sound good? Okay, I hope this helps you guys. I had so much fun today. Like I said, this was the day I was most excited to teach. I hope that you guys got tons of value information. I hope you guys understand all these pieces. Now is your game plan is to go get the one-pager, get started on it, and then we'll see you guys back here tomorrow, same time, same place, to go into day number 3 of the 5-day lead challenge. Thanks you guys so much for participating, for showing up. Do not be late tomorrow. We're going to go again, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.